Hi, I'm Dr. Chloe Jordan, Senior Editor at NPP Digital Psychiatry and Neuroscience. Welcome to the DPN Deep Dive, our journal's AI-generated podcast that summarizes DPN articles into short episodes that you can listen to during your daily commute, or in my case, on my next long run. Let's dive in and get started.
So imagine if the sound of your voice itself could actually be a clinical biomarker.
It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? Not just what you say, but how you say it.
Exactly. We're unpacking research today, looking at how those, subtle shifts in speech, cadence, tone, even pauses might give us objective signs of conditions like schizophrenia spectrum disorders or SSD.
And these often show up in what clinicians call negative symptoms.
Right. And just to clarify for everyone, negative symptoms aren't bad things. They're more like subtractions from normal function.
Things like having a really flat vocal tone or maybe just not talking as much, sort of diminished flow.
Yeah, precisely. So our mission today is to understand how some pretty cutting-edge AI is being used to try and detect these often fleeting acoustic cues.
We're looking at a specific paper here.
We are. It's titled Taking a Look at Your Speech, Identifying Diagnostic Status and Negative Symptoms of Psychosis Using Convolutional Neural Networks.
And this research involved folks from McGill University in Canada, among others.
So what was the big challenge they were trying to solve here?
Well, think about how a clinician listens. They pick up on tiny changes over time, right? The sudden pitch shift, maybe an odd pause.
Okay, yeah, things that happen in the moment.
Exactly. But traditional digital analysis often just averages sound features over time.
Then you lose all that nuance.
You lose that crucial temporal information, yes. So the clever part here was their approach using deep learning.
How did they get around that averaging problem?
They took short 10-second bits of uninterrupted speech and turned them into pictures.
Basically.
Pictures of sound. Pretty much. They're called log-mel spectrograms. It's a way to visualize sound frequencies over time.
Log-mel. Why that scale?
Good question. The Mel scale actually mimics how the human ear perceives frequency, so it helps the AI interpret the sound more like a person would.
Interesting. So it keeps the acoustic details and the timing.
That's the key. It preserves both.
So you have these sound pictures. What then? Feed them to an AI.
Essentially, yes. They used a type of AI suited for images, a convolutional neural network, or CNN.
And I imagine you need a lot of these pictures to train a CNN properly.
Oh, absolutely. The data set was pretty large. They trained it on over 110,000 unique spectrograms.
Wow. And how many people did that come from?
That was derived from 319 participants. 227 had an SSD diagnosis, and 92 were healthy controls.
Okay, so a solid base for comparison. How well did the CNN actually do at the first task, just telling SSD participants apart from controls?
It performed really strongly. The accuracy was 87.8%.
That's pretty high for a diagnostic indicator based on speech alone.
It is. And the AUC, another measure of performance, was 0.86, which is considered good.
But they looked at more than just diagnosis, right? What about those negative symptoms, like the flat effect?
Yes, and this is where it gets really interesting, I think. They tested the model within the patient group only.
Okay.
Specifically, could it detect clinically significant blunted affect? That's a core negative symptom, that flatness of voice.
How did it do there?
Again, very well. 87.8% accuracy for detecting notable blunted affect.
Same accuracy number. Interesting. What's the big takeaway from that? Does it mean the AI is just picking up on general illness?
Well, no, and that's the crucial part. The analysis showed that the acoustic patterns the AI used to make the main diagnosis were different from the patterns it used to identify blunted affect specifically.
Ah, I see. So it's not just one general sickness sound. It's finding distinct signatures for different aspects.
Precisely. It suggests the model is genuinely capturing symptom-specific information, not just overall severity.
That could be huge for, say, tracking how specific symptoms respond to treatment.
That's the potential, exactly. Tailored intervention tracking.
But how do we know the AI isn't just, focusing on background noise or some random blip?
Right, fair question. They used a visualization technique called GradCam. It basically highlights the parts of the sound picture the AI is paying most attention to.
Like looking inside the AI's brain?
Sort of, yeah. And it showed the network was focusing on regions consistent with actual human speech signals.
Not just static or clicks.
No. And interestingly, it was leveraging patterns found across whole phrases, maybe 5 to 7 seconds of continuous speech.
Which makes sense, right? That's roughly the timescale we humans use to judge expression or flow in conversation.
Exactly. It aligns well with how we perceive these things naturally.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly promising, but like all research, there must be limitations, caveats.
Of course, two main ones stand out. First, the study was done only with English speakers.
Ah, so generalizability. We don't know if this works the same way in, say, Mandarin or Spanish.
Correct. Language structure, intonation patterns, they differ. So that needs more research.
Okay, what's the second one?
Medication. This is always a tricky one in psychiatric research. They controlled for the type of medication people were on.
But not the dose.
Exactly. They didn't control for individual dosage. And some medications, especially at higher doses, can significantly impact speech, make it slower, flatter.
So it's hard to completely disentangle the disorder's effect on speech from the medication's effect.
Yes, that confounding factor is definitely there and needs careful consideration in future work.
That's a really important point to keep in mind. Still, the core idea, turning these subtle, fleeting vocal patterns into visual data that an AI can analyze with this level of nuance.
It opens up some really interesting possibilities for more objective tracking in psychiatry.
It really does. It suggests the future might involve not just listening, but also, in a way, looking at how we speak. Thanks for listening to the DPN Deep Dive. Until next time.